I came home for Christmas expecting the usual chaos, eggnog spills, Uncle Ray's bad jokes, and Mom's overcooked turkey that we'd all pretend was gourmet. But when I pushed open the door to that McMansion in Elmwood Heights, Ohio, the air hit me like a slap, pine-scented candles masking something rotten, laughter echoing from the dining room that didn't include my name. My seat was taken. Just immediate family, they said, as if I were the bastard child crashing the party. I showed them otherwise, not with a scene, but with a smile that hid the knife I'd been sharpening in my heart for years. It started 15 years ago, back when I was the golden girl of the Hargrove clan, Audrey Hargrove, the one who could do no wrong. Dad was climbing the corporate ladder at Procter & Gamble. Mom ruled the PDA like a queen bee. And my brother Ethan? He was the screw-up. The one with the rap sheet longer than a CVS receipt. But I loved him. God, did I love him. When he got caught boosting cars from the dealership lot, 18 years old, high on whatever was floating around the frat houses at Ohio State, I covered for him. Said it was me joyriding after a bad breakup. That I'd hot-wired the keys because I was stressed from AP classes. The cops bought it. The judge gave me community service and a sealed juvenile record. Ethan got to walk. Finish college. Land that cushy sales gig in Cincinnati. And me? I buried the secret like a bad tattoo. Let it fester under my skin while I rebuilt my life in Chicago. Clawing my way up as a marketing exec at a boutique firm. Pretending the weight of that lie didn't crush me every holiday. Fast forward to now. December 24th, 2025. And the family group chat had been buzzing for weeks. Hargrove holiday extravaganza. All welcome. No fine print about immediate family only. I flew in from O'Hare. Splurged on a rental Audi, because why not roll up like I belonged? Gift bag in hand with that artisanal whiskey Dad pretends not to love. The driveway was clogged with Suburbans and a Tesla, Ethan's. Of course, the golden boy upgraded. I crunched through the snow, heels sinking like my resolve, and rang the bell. Mom answered, her face a Botoxed mask of surprise that cracked just enough to show the panic underneath. Audrey? Honey? What are you, oh? We thought you were staying in the city this year. Her hug was limp, like embracing a coat rack. Behind her, the foyer glowed with twinkling lights, a massive wreath framing the staircase like a noose. I heard Ethan's voice booming from the dining room. Pass the rolls.
Ma.
Sarah's got the baby. Hey. Where's the wine?
Sarah.
His wife. The one who'd whispered in Mom's ear last summer. After I showed up to the lake house unannounced and found Ethan balls deep in some intern from his office. I'd kept that quiet too. Because family, right? Blood thicker than the cheap Merlot they served at reunions. But Sarah knew I knew. And her texts after had been poison. Stay out of our marriage.
Audrey.
You're not even blood anymore, not after what you did. Not blood? That hit like a gut punch. Turns out, the whispers had spread. Ethan, in a drunken stupor at Thanksgiving, confessed to Dad about the car theft. Not that he did it. Mind you, oh no. He spun it as my wild phase, but the truth leaked like a sieve. Dad confronted Mom, who pieced it together. Her perfect daughter had tanked her future for the son. And Sarah? She weaponized it. Convinced the family I was the liar, the manipulator, the one who'd always been jealous of Ethan's success. By Black Friday, the narrative flipped. Audrey the black sheep. Not worth the extra play setting. I stepped inside, kicking snow off my boots, the chill seeping into my bones. Surprise, I said, forcing a laugh that sounded like breaking glass. Mom's eyes darted to the dining room archway, where shadows shifted. 8, maybe 10 people. The clink of silverware a mocking symphony. Dad's low chuckle. Aunt Lila's cackle. The baby's gurgle. No seat for me.
Kumain.
Warm up, Mom murmured, steering me toward the kitchen like I was the help. We're just, keeping it small this year. Immediate family. The word hung there. A guillotine blade. Immediate. As if my sacrifice hadn't bought Ethan's seat at every table since. I nodded, smile welded on, and slipped into the kitchen. The island was a war zone of half-empty platters, hem glistening under foil. Green bean casserole congealing. I poured myself a vodka from the hidden flask in my purse, Russian standard. Smooth as revenge, and texted my best friend back in Chicago. Families disown me mid-holiday. Thoughts on arson?
Kidding.
Her reply buzzed. Not kidding enough. Get out. But I didn't. Not yet. I grabbed a plate, loaded it with scraps, the burnt edges, the forgotten rolls, and sauntered into the dining room like I owned the deed. Heads turned. Dad's fork paused midair, his bifocals slipping. Aunt Lila's wineglass tilted precariously. Ethan, at the head like a usurper king, choked on his bite. Sarah, beside him, clutched the baby's high chair, her eyes narrowing to slits. Audrey, Dad boomed, recovery mode kicking in. What a surprise. Pull up a chair, Ethan. Budge over. But Ethan didn't budge. He wiped his mouth. That boyish grin he'd weaponized since Little League twisting into something oily. Cease. Didn't know you were coming.
We,
texted the group.
Right. Lie.
I'd been muted weeks ago. Sarah cooed at the baby, but her gaze was a stiletto. Get out. The table fell silent, tension coiling like smoke from the candles. I set my plate down at the empty spot, the one they'd left for guests, shoved against the wall like an afterthought. Love what you've done with the place, I said, spearing a glob of casserole. Cozy. Real Hallmark vibes. Mom fluttered in, wringing her hands. Girls, let's not. Immediate family. Huh. I cut in, voice steady as a surgeon's scalpel. Forks scraped china. I met Ethan's eyes.
Held them.
Funny how that works. After all I've done to keep this circus rolling. The bomb dropped soft, but it detonated. Dad cleared his throat. Audrey, now's not the time.
Oh.
It's exactly the time. I leaned forward, the table's edge digging into my ribs. Ethan, remember that Beamer you borrowed senior year? The one that could have landed you in juvie. Derailed your whole frat boy fantasy? Who do you think took the heat? Spoiler, not the Easter Bunny. Ethan's face drained of color, then flushed beet red. What the hell? Beauty? That was ancient history. You said. I said nothing. I did everything. My laugh was bitter, echoing off the crystal. Sarah's hand flew to her mouth, the baby fussing as if sensing the rot. Aunt Lila muttered, Oh, Lord, crossing herself like we'd invoked the devil. Dad slammed his napkin down. Enough. This is Christmas. For God's sake. Audrey, if you're here to stir. Stir? I echoed. Standing now, chair scraping like nails on a chalkboard. I'm here for my seat. The one I earned with every lie I swallowed for this family. I swept my arm, gesturing to the opulent spread, the Waterford stemware, the monogrammed napkins. You think silverware and small talk erase it? Ethan built his life on my ruins. And you all let him. The room fractured. Ethan shoved back. Plate clattering. You jealous bitch. Always have been. I didn't ask you to play martyr. Sarah stood. Baby on hip. Get out.
Audrey.
You're toxic.
We've moved on. Moved on.
The words ignited something primal. A fuse I'd lit in Chicago. Planning this not as a visit, but a reckoning. I smiled. Slow and serpentine. Moved on?
Oh, sweetie.
You have no idea. That night, as snow blanketed Elmwood Heights, I didn't leave. I crashed in the guest room, my old room, now a shrine to Ethan's kids' toys, and plotted under the covers. Phone glowing with old emails. Forged documents I'd buried deep. The betrayal wasn't just the seat, it was the erasure. They'd rewritten me out of the story, painted me the villain to absolve their prince. But I had receipts.
And revenge?
It's a dish best served cold, with a side of Yuletide chaos. By morning, Christmas Day dawned brittle and bright, the kind of Midwest sun that glints off ice like a warning. I woke to the smell of coffee and cinnamon rolls, the house humming with forced normalcy. Downstairs, the tree loomed in the living room, ornaments swaying like hanged men, presents piled high under boughs heavy with fake snow. Mom was in the kitchen, apron tied tight, flipping pancakes with mechanical precision. Dad nursed black coffee at the island, eyes red-rimmed from a night of what I imagined were tense whispers. Morning, I said, breezing in, hair tousled just so, innocent, but not. Mom jumped, spatula clattering. Audrey, sleep okay? Like a baby, I lied.
Pouring coffee. Black.
No sugar, bitter as the truth. Dad grunted, not meeting my gaze. Ethan and Sarah were upstairs, the baby's cries muffled through the floorboards.
Good.
Let them stew. We gathered for brunch in uneasy truce, mimosas fizzing. Small talk about the Browns' dismal season and Cousin Jenny's divorce. But the undercurrent pulled like a riptide. Every glance my way carried shrapnel, accusation, guilt,
fear.
I played along, laughing at Dad's dad jokes, cooing over the baby's onesie. Inside,
though,
I was cataloging weaknesses. Ethan's twitch when I mentioned old cars, Sarah's white-knuckled grip on her glass, Mom's averted eyes. After plates cleared, the real holiday ritual kicked off, gift exchange. We migrated to the living room, fire crackling in the hearth, Bing Crosby crooning from hidden speakers. I sat cross-legged on the rug. The prodigal returned, as Ethan played Santa, doling out packages with theatrical flair. Mom got a spa voucher from Sarah, subtle dig at her stressed facade. Dad unwrapped a monogrammed golf club from Ethan, beaming like it'd cure cancer. My turn. Ethan handed me a slim envelope, smirk barely concealed. For you, AUD. From all of us. I slid it open, a gift card to Target, $50. The kind you give the help. Laughter rippled, nervous. Obligatory. Practical, Aunt Lila chirped. You can always use groceries. My chest tightened, but I smiled wider. Perfect. Matches the welcome. I set it aside, then reached under the tree for my stack, wrapped in metallic paper, ribbons like barbed wire. First to Mom, a leather-bound photo album, pages filled with prints I'd scavenged from old hard drives. Family shots from before the lie, me and Ethan building forts. Dad coaching t-ball. Mom radiant at my graduation. But interleaved, emails from the dealership lawsuit I'd quashed. Affidavits I'd signed under duress. The last page? A notarized letter from the original arresting officer, confessing he'd overlooked details for a family favor. Mom's hands trembled as she flipped.
Audrey.
What is this? History, I said softly. The kind we bury under turkey and tinsel. Ethan snatched it, scanning, face twisting. This is bullshit. You're blackmailing us? On Christmas? Not blackmail. Truth. I turned to him, voice steady. Your turn. His gift, a USB drive. Innocuous in its velvet pouch. Plug it in.
Bro.
Projector's right there. He hesitated. Sarah hissing. Don't. But Dad. Curiosity piqued. Hit play. The screen flickered to life. Grainy footage from a Cincinnati bar cam. Time-stamped last 4th of July. Ethan. 3 sheets to the wind. Cornering the intern, her intern. The one Sarah had fired after the lake house slip. Not just cornering, handsy.
Slurred proposition.
Her shoving him off as security intervened. No assault. But the optics? Toxic masculinity in 4K. Sarah gasped. Hand to throat. You hacked us? That's illegal. Public record. I countered. FOIA request. Cost me $200 and a favor from a PI buddy in Cheetown. Lie $500. And the buddy was an ex who'd owed me. But details. Ethan lunged, but Dad held him back.
Son.
Is this? It's nothing. She was flirting. Ethan's denial cracked, sweat beading on his brow. The room spun into chaos. Aunt Lila clutching pearls. Mom sobbing into a napkin. The baby wailing in harmony. Sarah stormed out, phone in hand. I'm calling the cops. But I was faster, sliding my final gift across to Dad, a manila folder. Edges crisp. Read it, I urged. All of you. Inside, bank statements. Wire transfers from Ethan's bonus account to an offshore LLC, shell company I'd traced to a Dayton chop shop. The cars he'd boosted post-college, funneled through my old Lia's cover. Not just joyrides, a side hustle that netted 6 figures before he went legit. And the kicker? Forged docs in my name. Backdated. Pinning residual liability on me if it ever blew up. Dad's face ashened. Glasses fogging.
Ethan.
Christ.
Boy.
It's not. Ethan stammered. But the flip was complete. From victim to villain in one projector click. I stood, the fire's heat licking my back. I took the fall once. Won't again. You want immediate family?
Fine.
But family's what you make it, not what you erase. Sarah reappeared. Phone down. Eyes feral. You think this wins? We'll cut you off.
No inheritance.
No nothing. Already did, I shot back. That's why I'm here. To collect. The standoff stretched, snow muffling the world outside. Part of me thrilled, the scalpel slicing clean. But another whispered, is this you, Audrey, or the monster they made? By evening, the house was a tomb. Guests fled after brunch, and Lila muttering about Hargrove drama as she peeled out. Ethan and Sarah barricaded upstairs. Baby monitor crackling like static. Mom chain-smoked in the sunroom. Dad paced the den with scotch.
Me?
I commandeered the kitchen. Baking snickerdoodles from Grandma's recipe, The one weaponized with love and cinnamon sugar lies. Dad found me there, flour-dusted and defiant. Why now? Audie. His voice cracked. The nickname from childhood, a gut-wrencher. Because silence is complicity. I slid a tray into the oven. You let them rewrite me. For what? Harmony. He sank onto a stool, head in hands. Ethan's my son. Your brother. Blood. Blood. I laughed. Hollow. I bled for him. You think juvenile records don't scar? I lost scholarships.
Dad.
Deferred dreams because family sticks together. But when I needed sticking, crickets. He looked up, eyes wet. I didn't know the extent. Thought it was a phase. Phases don't pay for Teslas. The oven dinged. I pulled out golden perfection. The scent, a cruel nostalgia. Ethan's not the only schemer. Remember the anonymous tip to my firm last month? The one tanking my promotion? Traced it to Sarah's IP. Dad's jaw slackened. She wouldn't.
She did.
Twice. Proof in the folder. Screenshots timestamped. Flipping the script.
Dad.
Like always. He rubbed his temples, the weight of decades sloughing off. What do you want? Money? Out of the will. I plated a cookie, pushed it toward him. Justice. My seat. And Ethan to own it, all of it. Upstairs. A door slammed. Voices rose, Ethan's bellow. Sarah's shriek. Then silence. Heavy as lead. Dad bit into the cookie, crumbs falling like confessions. I'll talk to him. Don't. I met his gaze. Let him come to me. Or watch it all burn. Night fell hard. Streetlights haloing the snow like dirty secrets. I slipped out for air, boots crunching the crust, breath fogging in the freeze. The neighborhood glowed, icicle lights. Inflatable Santas deflating in the wind. American dream suburbia, rotten at the core. My phone buzzed. Chicago friend. You okay? Evacuate? Plotting. I typed. The good kind. Back inside. The prodigal's truce held fragile. Dinner was takeout pizza, ironic. Greasy peace offering, eaten in shifts to avoid crossfire. Ethan emerged once, face thunderous, to grab a slice. Our eyes locked, his held fury, mine steel. You happy now? He muttered. Getting there. No apology. No olive branch. Just the grind of teeth. Sarah hovered behind, baby balanced like a shield. This isn't over.
Audrey.
Therapy. Lawyers, whatever it takes. Bring it. I sipped wine.
Bold now.
But secrets? They multiply. Like that donation to the church youth group. Ring any bells. Her Blanche was priceless. Ethan's gambling slip. Covered by tithes from the Chop Shop slush fund. I donated anonymously last week. With a note. From the family that prays together. Midnight Mass loomed. The annual Hargrove pilgrimage to St. Mary's. But no one moved. Instead, we sat in the dark living room. Fire dying to embers. Shadows dancing like accusations. Mom broke first. Voice small. Can we fix this?
Fix.
As if I were the leaky faucet. Maybe. If immediate family means all of us. Ethan snorted from the armchair. Sarah curled against him. You're not family. You're a ghost we fed too long. The words landed like fists.
Ghost.
Invisible. Until haunting time. I rose. Coat donned. Then haunt me no more. I'm done haunting you. But as I reach the door, Dad's hand on my arm.
Stay.
Please. I hesitated, snow swirling beyond the glass. Stay. And forgive? Or go? And escalate? The line blurred, revenge or redemption. In that moment, I saw it, the twist they didn't expect. Not destruction, but dissection. I'd take the seat, but on my terms. No more lies. Fine, I said, shedding the coat. But tomorrow,
We talk.
all cards on the table. Ethan's scoff echoed, but Dad nodded, relief flickering. Sarah's eyes promised war. Mom wept quietly. As the clock struck 12, Carol's faint on the radio. I poured nightcaps, whiskey neat, burning paths down throats parched for truth. Christmas morning had broken. Now came the resurrection. Or the reckoning. The next days blurred into a pressure cooker. Elmwood Heights winter grit mirroring the chill in our veins. I extended my stay, citing a storm delay on flights, truth, but weaponized. The house became a battlefield of passive aggression, Mom's pointed sighs over laundry, Dad's averted eyes at breakfast, Ethan and Sarah's locked bedroom door like a barricade. I wandered the halls like a specter, unearthing relics, my high school yearbook in the attic, scribbled with most likely to succeed, now a joke, Ethan's old Xbox, controllers sticky with forgotten adolescence. By the 26th, Dad called the summit. Living room.
Noon.
No phones. No bullshit. We assembled like defendants, me on the couch, legs crossed, Ethan slouched in the recliner, nursing a hangover, Sarah beside him, baby napping upstairs, Mom perched on the ottoman. Hands knotted, Dad at the mantel, fire poker in grip like a scepter. He started. This ends today. Audrey's right. We buried her for Ethan's sake. That's on me.
Pause.
Eyes on his son. Confess.
Boy.
All of it. Ethan shifted. Jaw set.
Fine.
The cars, yeah. I did it. More than once. Beauty took the fall first time. After. I got sloppy. Chop shop was stupid. But it paid for Sarah's ring. The down payment. His voice cracked, not remorse, but resentment. You think I wanted that? Dad pushed provide. Mom nagged success. AUD played hero. I played the game. Sarah interjected. Venom sweet. And you? Always the martyr.
Audrey.
Covering for him fed your ego. Admit it, you liked the power. Power? The accusation stung. A mirror to my scheming. Had I? In Chicago. Late nights forging those docs. Was it justice or just desserts? Ego. I countered. Try survival. You flipped the script. Sarah leaked my instability to HR. Tanked my review.
Why?
Because I caught your hubby cheating. She flushed. He didn't, it was a mistake. And you? Blackmailing us with home movies? That's not sisterhood. That's spite. Spite's what you served first. I pulled out my phone, backup. Since Dad's rule be damned, cued a voicemail, Sarah's voice. Slurred from a girl's trip. Confessing to Mom. Ethan's weak. But Audrey's worse. She's the one who started the lies. Jealous since we got engaged. Mom gasped. Sarah. You. Lies. Sarah lunged for the phone. But Ethan held her back. His flip sudden. Enough.
Babe.
She's right. I screwed up. The room tilted. Ethan.
Defending me?
His eyes met mine, not brotherly, but calculating.
80. You win.
I'll come clean to the firm, the bank. Pay back every dime. But cut the leaks. For Dad. A concession? Or ploy? The schemer in him. Flipping sides like a coin. Dad nodded approval. Mom exhaled relief. But Sarah seethed.
No.
She's poison. Poison we all drank, I said, voice low. Truce.
Ethan?
Full confession. My name cleared, records expunged. Job threats retracted. He extended a hand.
Deal.
We shook. Palms clammy. The pact sealed in hearthlight. Sarah stormed out. Slamming the door, Mom followed. Cooing damage control. Dad clapped my shoulder. Proud of you, kid. And retreated to his study. Alone with Ethan. Tension crackled. Why now? I asked. Because you're right.
And?
I need you. His whisper. Sarah's leaving. Found the footage herself. Divorce papers incoming.
Twist.
Not my knife, but karma's. Sympathy flickered. Brother? Broken. Then fight fair. No more flips. He nodded, but his eyes shuddered, plotting the next board. That night, as sleet lashed the windows, I packed. Flight tomorrow. Seat reserved, mine. But peace? Elusive. Sarah's car peeled out at dawn. Baby in tow. Text to Mom, taking him to my parents. We're done with this circus. Ethan crumbled. Dad consoled. Mom medicated.
Me?
I drove to the airport in silence. Rear view fading the McMansion like a bad dream. Chicago waited. Promotion pending. Secrets unearthed. Was it victory? The table reset. But fractures lingered. Ethan texted en route. Thanks.
Sis.
Oh, you.
Oh.
The word echoed. A hook for more. In the terminal, sipping Starbucks, I debated. Delete the backups. Or keep. Justice or just in case. The plane taxied. Wings slicing snow. Below, Elmwood slept. Secrets buried anew. But mine? Exposed. Empowering. No seat taken ever again. Or so I thought. 3 months later, a package arrived at my Loop high-rise, Manila. No return. Inside, divorce decree. Ethan's signature fresh, a check for $250,000, reparations, and a note in Sarah's script. He flipped on you too. Told the firm your instability was real, your cover-up made you complicit. Checks hush money. Take it and vanish. The twist gutted me. Ethan. Scheming to the end, using my revelations to leverage his clean slate, painting me the co-conspirator in his escape. HR called that afternoon. Audrey, we need to discuss your background check. Rage boiled. Dark and delicious. I tore the check. Wired the PI. Dig deeper. Revenge 2.0, not fire, but flood. Leaks to Ethan's board. Sarah's Family, a podcast pitch on family lies, the Hargrove heist. Polarization peaked. Was I avenger or arsonist? Brothers' betrayal birth mine. Cycle unbroken. Ending? Not happy. Not tragic, just American. Messy. Meritless. Merciless. In the mirror, Audrey stared back. Seat claimed. But at what cost? The table waited. Empty. My move.